hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you click on the description at the bottom to make sure that you put on our mailing list so that you don't miss anything. Because, believe it or not, our show has now been demonetized on YouTube. Don't know why. Maybe because I said the wrong thing about the 2020 election, or maybe the wrong thing about the 2016 election, which I'm going to come to in a minute. Or maybe I said the wrong things about skepticism about whether or not we ought to lock down the economy because of COVID. I don't know. Or maybe it's because I'm the black face of white supremacy. All I know is that our YouTube channel has been demonetized. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of our videos, hit that link below and make sure you are put on our mailing list to make sure that you are apprised of all of our videos. Now, after Biden gave his speech in which he referred to Trump supporters as believers in semi-fascism, he was asked about that.
What do you mean by semi-fascism, sir?
In December, you will...
You know what I mean.
You know what I mean. And this is something Democrats have been doing for a very long time. I wrote a piece back in November 2016 called Democrats and the Nazi Card. And I pointed out during the 1964 campaign between Lyndon Johnson and Barry Goldwater, Barry Goldwater accepted an invitation to visit a U.S. military installation located in Germany. On the CBS Evening News, hosted by Walter Cronkite, who was referred to as the most trusted man in America, correspondent Daniel Storr said, quote, "It is now clear that Senator Goldwater's interview with Der Spiegel, which is a German publication, with his hard line appealing to right-wing elements in Germany, was only the start of a move to link up with his opposite numbers in Germany." Close quote. In other words, Goldwater's a Nazi. Then they had a reaction shot of Walter Cronkite. And he was going like this. Kind of like Lurch from Addams Family. And when Goldwater accepted the nomination, California Democrat Governor Pat Brown said, and I'm quoting him, "The stench of fascism is in the air," end of quote. Let's fast forward to Ronald Reagan. There's an author of a book called The Age of Reagan. His name is Stephen F. Hayward. And here's what he wrote, and I'm quoting. "Liberals hated Reagan in the 1980s, pure and simple. They used language that would make the most fervid anti-Obama rhetoric of the Tea Party seem well like a Tea Party. Democrat Representative William Clay of Missouri charged that Reagan was, quote, trying to replace the Bill of Rights with fascist precepts lifted verbatim from Mein Kampf," end of quote. After Republicans took control of the House and Newt Gingrich became the Speaker in the mid-1990s, John Dingell, a Democrat member of the House from Michigan, compared the newly controlled GOP House to the Duma and the Reichstag, referring to the legislature set up by Tsar Nicholas II of Russia and the parliament of the German Weimar Republic that brought Hitler to power. I kid you not. What's this? A couple of MYPILLOW slippers in the nice, beautiful brown. Look how fuzzy this is on the inside. These things are amazing. These things are absolutely amazing. And they come in different colors. One size fits all. Just kidding. Doesn't come in one size. Now you see the number on your screen. Call the number or go to mypillow.com. Make sure you use promo code ELDER. Wait a minute. Do I have anything else? Yes, I do. This is the new Giza Dream Sheets, made with the finest cotton in the world. Mike went all over the world to find it. Giza, Giza bed sheets. Again, they come in different colors and different sizes. And then, of course, there's the standard MyPillow, which does come in various sizes. This is the standard size. They've got a smaller one. They have a larger one. Now, I am an admirer of Mike Lindell. However you feel about some of his theories, he's a stand-up guy who's been canceled by some of the stores like Bed Bath & Beyond. So if you want to support free speech, whether or not you agree with that speech or not, if you agree with the biographer of Voltaire who said, I disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it, then support Mike Lindell, support MyPillow. Call the number on your screen or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code ELDER. By the way, they're over, as Joe Biden would say, 100 different products. Fast forward to President George W. Bush. George Soros said about George W. Bush, and I'm quoting, "He displays the supremacist ideology of Nazi Germany." When I hear Bush say, "You're either with us or against us," it reminds me of the Germans. The George W. Bush administration and the Nazi and communist regimes all engage in politics of fear. Indeed, the Bush administration has been able to improve on the techniques used by the Nazi and communist propaganda machines, end of quote. Vice President Al Gore, former VP Al Gore, said about George W. Bush's executive branch, it has, quote, made it a practice to try and control and intimidate news organizations, from PBS to CBS to Newsweek. And every day, they unleash squadrons of digital brown shirts. You know what the brown shirts were? And every day, they unleash squadrons of digital brown shirts to harass and hector any journalist who's critical of the president, end of quote. Actor and activist Harry Belafonte, also a close friend of MLK, called George W. Bush a racist. And when someone said, but he's got a number of blacks in his administration, like Condoleezza Rice and like Colin Powell, Belafonte said, and I'm quoting him, "Hitler had a lot of Jews high up in the hierarchy of the Third Reich," close quote. No, Hitler did not. But that's what Harry Belafonte said. Not a problem. The then NAACP chairman, whose name was Julian Bond, played the Nazi card a bunch of times. He was speaking at a historically black college called Fayetteville State University in North Carolina, 2006. And here's what Julian Bond said, and I'm quoting. "The Republican Party would have the American flag and the swastika flying side by side." Let me say it one more time. The Republican Party would have the American flag and the swastika flying side by side. Julian Bond also said when George W. Bush first got elected that he got his cabinet appointees from the, quote, Taliban wing of the Republican Party. He said that before 9/11. After 9/11, he repeated it almost verbatim, that George W. Bush had gotten his cabinet members from the Taliban wing of the Republican Party. He said that after 9/11, where you thought maybe he might be a little more sensitive. Think again. There's a blog called libcom.org about the Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, who reined in excessive public employee compensation packages, gave him the full Nazi treatment. Here's what the hard left blog said, quote, "Scott Walker is a fascist. Perhaps not in the classical sense, since he doesn't operate in the streets, but a fascist nonetheless. He is a fascist, for his program takes immediate and direct aim at a sector of the working class," end of quote. And you might recall in Donald Trump's lawsuit, he talks about what California Democratic Party Chair John Burton said about him. Quote, "Republicans lie, and they don't care if people think they lie. As long as you lie, Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels, the big lie, you keep repeating it," close quote. And finally, there's this. South Carolina Democratic Party chairman, his name is Dick Harpootlian. In 2012, during the race between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, he compared that state's Republican governor to Hitler's mistress. When this Democrat South Carolina party chair was told that Republicans are holding a press conference at a NASCAR Hall of Fame basement studio, Harpootlian told the South Carolina delegation, quote, "Governor Nikki Haley was down in the bunker a la Eva Braun," end of quote, referring to the mistress of Adolf Hitler. Now, this rhetoric of President Joe Biden referring to Trump supporters as believers in a sort of semi-fascism and referring to MAGA Republicans as election deniers. It apparently has had an effect on violence in our streets. Just as they always talked about Donald Trump's hateful rhetoric would cause a rise in white supremacy and that the biggest domestic terror threat are white men, where are they now? Since Biden has given this talk, several Republican offices around the country have been vandalized, including the Larimer County Republican Party in Fort Collins, Colorado, the Ottawa County Republican Party in Hudsonville, Michigan, and the Nebraska Republican Party headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. The Republican Party officer in Seminole County, Florida was vandalized just days after the speech in which Biden said Republicans were engaging in a sort of semi-fascism. Also in Michigan, a pro-life canvasser was shot in Odessa Township. A 74-year-old man named Richard Harvey was charged with felony assault and reckless disregard of a firearm. Joan Jacobson, 84-year-old woman, said she was canvassing with pro-life with Right to Life, going door to door. Harvey came forward and shot her. And also, 18-year-old Kyler Ellison was killed when a 41-year-old man allegedly hit him with a vehicle because he thought that the victim was part of an extremist Republican group. Where are the people concerned about the violence that Donald Trump encouraged because of his racist dog whistle to white racists?
Hope you enjoyed that video. The full show is available to watch right now on Epoch TV. Just click the link in the description below to learn more, because we've got a country to save.